Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today is going to be another vlog rant type deal. Just talking about about gaming, just things that are just I've been thinking about a lot lately. Some of it is because of economics, some of it is because of the realities of the gaming industry and major changes. Some of these changes have happened very slowly over time, and you almost don't even notice them. My YouTube channel is about 4 years old. I started about this time back in 2012, and I was thinking back about that in 2012, which is around the time I first heard about Mad Max. It was like late 2012, early 2013, and it took forever for this game to come out. I actually pre-ordered this game years before it came out. Years. I mean, they actually saw it in the system. They thought it was coming out. They took my deposit on it, and I waited and waited and waited. And I've been replaying this lately. In fact, I started the game over after 200 hours and 3 attempts to get through the game and 4 major patches that the game needed to operate properly on consoles. It is optimized pretty well on PC, and it plays great on PC if you have a chance to play it on that. But this has been a frustrating experience, and so now I'm replaying it from the beginning. Here we have new games coming out, kind of a lean summer for me with new games. I haven't spent that much on games. This is the last new game that I pre-ordered. I got this Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Some of it's based off the enthusiasm of a few friends of mine that loved the Human Revolution and were raving about it. So I bought the game. I got excited at the last minute. I pre-ordered it a week or so before it came out. I got the strategy guide with it, and I was excited to play it because I like the combat. For me, I'm really into combat. I like stealth games like Sniper Elite 3, but it has to have good combat. And I'm watching reviews of it. I wanted to play it day one, and it's probably just as well that I didn't. And I'm watching reviews of it, and a few of my friends that did some impression videos of it. And it's a great game. It has wonderful graphics and stealth. And you can see they put a lot of thought into the environments, rich with detail and multiple ways that you can get through them. But it's all based on stealth and quiet, non-lethal takedowns. And it's just like it goes against the grain of what I'm into. I'm the type where I like a Army of Two Devils cartel type game where you just kick open the front door and just annihilate everything in the room. And it's just more of the action-based shooting games that I like. Even the campaigns in Battlefield 3 and 4 were quite enjoyable. I like to have a reason to go in, kick a door open, and annihilate everything in the room. Certainly, I love games. What the hell is the name of that one? It's a great game. It's called Spec Ops: The Line. Games that have good shooters, but also have a great story, kind of a narrative angle that they're trying to drive a point home, and they do it through the story and gameplay. And there's some wonderful games like that. The BioShock games, which they have great gameplay, but they tell a story through the gameplay and through the environments. In fact, I'm thinking of that because I'm looking recently this morning. I'm looking at GameStop. I'm looking for new games to buy or pre-order or to think about, to kind of keep my eye out for. And there's really not a hell of a lot coming out. There's this BioShock collection. I don't even know if I can afford it. And I don't know. Work has slowed down. Work for me has radically slowed down. They had me stay home all week last week. First it was just going to be Monday. Then it's like, we'll take the whole week off, along with a few other new hires. Naturally, because I got hired, late in the cycle. If there's not that much work, you're the one that's going to be sitting home. Maybe a couple years from now it'd be different. You've earned your way up. Even though I was hired as a lead painter, now all of a sudden I got to stay home. So now I'm rethinking all of these pre-orders and money I was going to get the Xbox One S. They told me initially, we got tons of work. Don't worry. You might have to sit home, after Thanksgiving or Christmas for a week here or there, but don't worry, we'll have plenty of work. And now I see this as the opposite. These are the same vacuous promises you hear at a lot of other painting companies. This is why I like working for myself as a contractor and not working for someone else, because then I can control the money. If I'm going to sit home half the time, I can just do my own thing and make $3,000 in a week versus $700 or $800 in a week. But then I have to worry about sales and all that. But anyway, the reason why I'm mentioning this is it's been a lean year. As people know, I've had health issues the last year and a half. Radically cut my income down by less than 50% of what it was. So this has been a tough year. This year has been really tough for me with the back surgery and being out of work 6 months, and then not knowing if I can even get back to work. And when I come back from the job that I've been working on presently, there's not much left. I mean, I'm burned out. I'm absolutely fried. I couldn't play a game if someone had a Mac 10 to my head. I mean, I'm dead. There's nothing left. And then the weekends, I try to get to that. I got to wash the cars and run all these errands and get supplies for work for Monday. So the time I'm all ready to go, and I mean, that's it. Sunday night, it's like, well, I'm wiped out. I guess I'll just watch a movie instead. So gaming has been tough for me. I was able to delve into it a little bit this week because I had some time off. And I immediately got my resume out there to other big painting companies. I'm furious that these guys promised they're going to keep me busy, and now they're reneging on the promise. They didn't even give me the courtesy to give me a heads up on what was coming so I could plan on it. So it's frustrating as I've got a Patreon commitments that I've made that I'm going to have a hard time making now. Forget about the Xbox One S, or let alone this new Neo coming out, which I really wanted to get. So this is a constant frustration. It's just life in the big city. You deal with it. At least I got a wonderful game room, a handsome collection of great games, many on the 6th and 7th gen that I can go back and still play via component cables or HDMI on my Samsung here. So I'm not whining, in that respect. I have plenty of games to play, but it gets me to thinking about new games coming out in general. Can I afford them? Can I not afford them? I have to be selective. So anyway, getting back to this Mankind Divided, I find out it's predominantly another stealth game, pretty much kind of more of the same of Human Revolutions, which that one I understood you could do it both ways. You could go in and kill everyone in the room, you can sneak in through vents and do silent takedowns, but then I start researching even that game, and there's a lot of, they give you very limited ammo, and you're up against incredible odds if you try to go in and do guns blazing, so it's like, well, that's not really a game I'm interested in. Now I'm stuck with this brand new game, which looks great. I have little interest in playing it now, so I can trade it in for 50 cents on the dollar towards something else, or just park it on the shelf with all the other ones, and then someday maybe I'll get to it if I'm interested in that kind of a experience. But it gets me thinking a little bit. As I've gotten older, I know what I like now, and I know what I don't like. There's a lot of trends I see coming. Whether it's female protagonists that are the leads in game. Every new game out has got a female protagonist. I watch the Song of the Deep. I go, oh, what a beautiful little platform. I watch a gameplay video, and it's a female protagonist at the helm. Now, to some friends of mine, it's almost like a joke. They don't understand. To them, they don't care if it's female, male, what race, alien, doesn't matter. But to me, as I play games for immersion and to identify with that character as a Navy SEAL in a SOCOM game, or Duke Nukem and Duke Nukem, Forever, or any one of these, the Call of Juarez games. You're back in the Old West as a gunslinger. I like to kind of wear the hat of whatever that character is, and that's how I live vicariously through that character and enter into this wonderful interactive experience. So it has to be something that I can get into. Now, Tomb Raider, because I was starving for games at the time, I was happy to play the Tomb Raider games. I loved platformers like the Duke Nukem Time to Kill and Land of the Babes. They're very fun little platformer shooters, made by 3D Realms, and the Tomb Raider games are more of that. And I was so hungry for more of that I enjoyed those early Tomb Raider PlayStation 1 games, and later the really good Crystal Dynamics ones on the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox. And there's still a few of those I have on my list that I want to get for the Xbox 360 and the original Xbox, like Legends and a few of them. But I love those games. I've had so much fun with them. And I can play those. And I enjoyed the Tomb Raider game of 2013 or whenever it came out, 14, what have you. A great game. It's kind of a tie between that and Grand Theft Auto 5. I thought both of them had great stories, characters, environments. It's just, for me, I feel really removed playing as a woman in a game. So for me, even though I love the exploration and the tombs and the puzzles and the wonderful graphics and shooting and even the story, I felt removed from it. I would have enjoyed the game that much more if it had been, a character that I could have identified with and got into it. But that's just me. It's the way my brain is wired. We all have our criteria for what we play. Some people just play anything. They're like, same way with food. They'll eat anything. They don't care. Fast food, peanut butter and jelly, a gourmet meal, it doesn't matter to them. I'm a little bit more selective. because a lot of it is the time that I have. I have limited time with movies, limited time with games, so I have to make those games count. I have to play something that I'm into, that it's something that I'm inspired to play. So lately I've been playing this instead of a brand new $60 Mankind Divided game that I bought, and I took a chance on. I didn't know. I probably should have waited on that. I could give it to my nephew or friend or something, I suppose, get something out of it. But it looks like a great game, and I'm glad to see that we're getting really quality sci-fi, cyberpunk type games like that. I like the genre. I just didn't know that much about it and took a chance on it. I was hoping for shooting. I like the option of going in and blowing people away if that's the play style that you want to do. But putting people to sleep with little Z's is not my thing. So quickly I watched some gameplay of an impressions video. I'm not going to. I'll be bored with this in no time. So another one for the compost pile, but whatever. Live and learn. So I'm thinking of the games that I'm actually excited for, and the Mafia 3 is pretty much it. I mean, that new Rise of the Tomb Raider looks good, and I have that pre-ordered because I love the first one so much. I'm not thrilled again as a female protagonist, but I'll do it like I did the other one, and I'll enjoy it. I'll find the fun in that game, and I'll certainly enjoy the platforming and that great exploration that those Tomb Raider games are really good at. It was very satisfying. It was a great experience playing it. Again, I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I could have been a character I could have got behind or got into more, but that's just me. That's how I'm built. I have to be, like I said, be selective. So for me, I'd rather play an older Star Wars game, Knights of the Old Republic, which I've been really tempted to go back and play. I've never played it. I watched some gameplay of it and some early old reviews of it, but that's it. It looks fascinating. I've heard so much about it. I really should go back and finish the wonderful Jedi Outcast and then play Jedi Academy as well. Those are fantastic games. And I had so much fun a year ago playing Jedi Outcast. Exactly a year ago. I was 60% of the way into that. And Mad Max came out and I jumped off from it to play this. But, I mean, there's barely been any new games coming out. I think back to 2012, my God, I was just playing, we had that... I just finished L.A. Noire, and then I was playing GoldenEye Reloaded. Then they came out with GoldenEye, or it was I think it was 007 Legends. We had the new Forza Horizon, Far Cry 3, Hitman Absolution, Doom BFG Edition. There were just like millions of games coming out, and I mean, I couldn't keep up with them. I was buying new games and buying my friends brand new games. So quite often I was buying 2 brand new games plus a strategy guide, plus the special box sets of Max Payne 3 and Duke Nukem Forever and stuff like that. So it was expensive. I was putting a lot more money into my gaming and my hobby then than I do now. It's like now, I mean, there's barely 3 games a year that I'm even interested in. If I really ask myself, even this Battlefield 1, I've been watching some great multiplayer gameplay. It looks fun for my friends who are into multiplayer. I'm happy for them that they've got something that they can play. If you're into that Titanfall stuff and jumping around and quick twitch-based shooting stuff, I mean, that's great. It's not my thing, but I'm happy for my friends that they'll have something like that. Battlefield 1, they're going back to World War I, but they're using, old German tanks to be the English tanks. It's not even accurate, technically. There's, the weapons are using a lot of heavy automatic weapons, which they had some experimental weapons at the time back then, but it's really not. So right off the bat, I'm already losing interest now. I don't care about the great graphics. I'm not really big on World War I. I like World War II, the machinery, tanks, jeeps, ships. I mean, the technology I prefer in, the World War II to the Korean War better than World War I, which was a gruesome trench war. Lots of bayoneting, just close quarters fighting, and single shot rifles and stuff like that. It was a tough, brutal war. It's almost painful to go back and even watch things on that or read books on it. It was an intense time. So I give him kudos for coming up with something new, but it's not something that I'm interested in. So what I'm getting to, I guess, is the last couple of years, there's barely been any games. After GTA 5 and that Tomb Raider game, I mean, there's slim pickings for me. There are very few games I like. I've been buying remasters because at least those I know I like. At least I know I like Dead Island. At least I know that I like the first Dishonored game that they remastered. That was a good stealth game. Multiple ways to play it, great level design. So I'm happy to buy those remasters. But of course then you're buying an old experience, with a new skin on it. And so you start to play that, and it's like, yeah, it's great. I kind of want to play a new experience. So there's just like very few new experiences. That Mafia 3 is it. That's the only game that looks halfway decent to me. And that Tomb Raider game, and that's it. So it's like, it's going to be real easy to catch up. I'm not going to have a whole lot of reasons to buy an Xbox One now. I wanted to get that new Forza Horizon 3 because it looks outstanding. I love the HDR color palette that they're going to have via the Xbox One S and my TV that supports high dynamic range color and 4K and all that. So I was hopeful to get that. Because of finances, that's going to be put way back on the back burner. Maybe a year from now or next year, we'll see. So it's unfortunate, it is what it is. And this is why I've been building a great 7th gen collection of PS3 and especially Xbox 360 games. That's why I bought another brand new Xbox 360 cheap before the prices went back up on them. I got it for $199 with a 500 gig hard drive because I said I want to support. I can see the end is in sight with gaming. I mean, I can count on one hand, if that, how many new experiences are coming out a year that I'm into. This Lifeless Planet came out in 2014. I have that. I just downloaded that. And I watched a couple of reviews, which I hadn't really seen much on it last night on YouTube via my PlayStation 4. And it's a great little indie game. I said, it's a great game. I paid, $15 for it or whatever. That's a nice little experience. So I get 5 or 6 or 7 hours out of it, whatever it takes to go through it. But I'll get my $15 worth out of it. So, I mean, there's some great indie games. This No Man's Sky, initially I wasn't going to get it because it was going to be an always online deal. Then they say it's an offline game. Then I watch it, and it's literally half of what they promised, people. And I've had friends that like it and friends that don't like it, but I'm going to hold off on that. It's a shame, and I don't play PC games, so I don't have the Elite Dangerous and those other games. And again, those are server-based games, so right off the bat, there goes all the server games. Tom Clancy's The Division. I love the post-apocalyptic setting. That would be a perfect game for a single-player campaign, but it's always online, so that's out. The game Destiny's out. The new Need for Speed reboot that's always online, that's definitely out. The new Rainbow Six game that always had an offline solo campaign, that's out. So, I mean, right off the bat, it's just getting whittled down to where, okay, well, I can't play those 5 games, I can't play those 3. These new 4 games have got female protagonists. I don't really feel like playing another one after Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'll have my quota for the next 2 years after, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm done. So even this new, Zero Horizon, whatever the thing is coming out for the PlayStation 4. Great graphics, great concept, but I don't want to play as a redhead girl. So I'll pass on it. But for my friends that are happy doing that and like that, that's great. The Witcher 3, the graphics look good. I've watched at least 5 or 6 reviews. I see why people like it. I see the heavy story-based interaction with it, even the heavy story within the side quest. I think that's great. You got this Blood and Wine DLC thing everyone's loving, having fun with it. That's great. If you like that genre and that time and period of Dungeons and Dragons and swords and all that, it's not my thing. So for me, right off the bat, the Skyrim games don't do it for me. The Oblivion games, Elder Scrolls Online, obviously it's online. I'm not going to play that. So all these medieval games, I'm not into. Right off the bat, there's those. The female protagonist games, I'm not into. The stealth games where you're putting people to sleep, I'm not into. So it's just basic violent shooters, Games like Manhunt, games like Call of Juarez, The Cartel. Those are the kind of games that I like. Just great, gritty, violent action games. Even Battlefield Hardline, I really enjoyed what I played of the campaign. It's like I love the cops and robbers and the takedowns, and even that's great. You can do it violently or use a taser and take them down. That's fine. At least it gives you options. But it's getting slim pickings. I mean, it's getting to the point where, there's that new Wildlands game, I forget what it's called, Ghost Recon Wildlands coming out next year. Big open world game. Supposedly you can play it solo or co-op. It looks like it's designed for co-op, like Dead Island, but you can still play it solo. That looks good. That one I like. if I genuinely can play it offline and in a solo capacity, I'm all over it. Hopefully the balancing issues will be there to where you can have a good experience playing it by yourself. We'll see. So there's like that game, and that's it. I mean, in this new Forza Horizon 3, which I may or may not even get now. I mean, that's now everything's getting pushed back again. Like I said, I'd like to get the Neo right when it comes out at launch because I'm just sick of deleting games over and over. I haven't figured out how to change my hard drive out. I mean, I have to go and buy the money for the hard drive and then upload it to the cloud or to a thumb drive and then figure it all out and make sure everything is working. I don't lose anything, which is my concern. So I'm not technically savvy with a lot of that stuff, and I could sit and lovingly watch a video on it, I guess, and eventually get through it. But I was just going to kind of wait out and get the Neo. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I'll save my other console, put it back in a box. At least it looks nice. This was my old launch PS4. Nice looking, handsome piece of equipment. And just put it away. And I would play everything on the Neo with better upscale graphics, twice the processing power and speed and everything. And so to me, that's what I've been living for and waiting for. So even though there's not a lot of great experiences to play on it yet. So it's getting to the point where I'm kind of seeing the gaming industry for what it is, and at the end of the day, look, I have to be happy with those 3 or 4 games I get. Thank God for those. Thank God that there'll be a new Sniper Elite 4 coming out because I'm all over that. There's been some frame rate issues and things I've seen with that at E3, but I'm sure that'll be fixed. Again, that Ghost Recon Wildlands looks great. I like the open world exploration. Perfect type of a game I can get lost in. So there's a couple, and of course this new BioShock collection. If I can swing it, I don't know if I can get it. I would really like to get that. I may just trade in and take a huge loss and trade in this Mankind Divided towards that, because at least I can get, there's 3 games in that, and there's even a strategy guide for $30 you can buy for that game too, where it actually takes you through all 3 games. So I recently traded in my Rapture edition, which had BioShock 1 and 2 and BioShock Infinite, because I knew this new edition was coming out. I was planning on getting. I didn't know it was coming out so soon, which I just realized this morning. So there's a couple of games I'm excited about, and that's why I don't mind these remasters, because they are fun. Even on the PlayStation 4, they got the great, Star Wars Racer Revenge that was on the PlayStation 2, and Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which is now on the PlayStation 4 via the PlayStation Store. Usually like $15 a piece, and Vice City, and Twisted Metal Black, and even Manhunt, which I haven't got yet on the PS4. I just played it on the original Xbox, did a complete walkthrough of it. But it's nice to see. That's why I'm happy to see these kind of. I know they kind of pad a lot of the the new games coming out. Well, we're getting more remasters. We're getting all these old HD games that were PlayStation 2 games. We're getting for the PS4. But I like the trends because it gives me something to do. At least I have something that I can enjoy and can play. Because I'm sure as hell not getting a lot of gaming experiences that I like. Frankly, they just don't do it for me. Very few of them. I'm still waiting for a damn racing game for the PlayStation 4. They got this new Assetto Corsa, whatever the hell it is. Great PC driving sim. It's bug-ridden as hell, screen tearing up the ass, lots of problems on the PlayStation 4 apparently. So I'm apprehensive about that. There's been some complaints about the UI and stuff in it. So it looks good. At least it has American cars that I can play, unlike Project Cars. Another disappointment. So I still have Need for Speed Rivals is it. I got that and Dirt Rally. Those are the only racing games I have for my PS4, so I'm starving for a new game. Now I just heard they put back the new Gran Turismo Sport or whatever the hell it is has been pushed back to 2017, which is fine. I'd much rather wait a year or even a couple years and have a solid racing experience without bugs and problems. I'm sick of bugs and issues. After what I went through this just like raped the last little bit of magic and wonderment out of gaming for me, with all the problems I have with a game that I absolutely love. It could have happened to any other game. I could have handled it much better, but the fact it happened with a game that I had the most love and admiration for, it was just painful for me. And because of that has really stolen a lot of the joy of modern gaming out of me. I don't mind the lengthy updates and all that stuff, and the DLC, you can buy it or not buy it. I don't like this episodic thing, this Life is Strange and the new Hitman. games and episodes. It's not my thing. I'll wait a year or so till they're all out on one disc, buy the whole disc, Game of the Year edition with all the episodes, and then maybe I'll go through it and play it if it meets my criteria for the protagonist and for the type of genres and gameplay I like. I like the FPS games, I like third-person shooters, but I love shooting. Shooting works. It goes hand in hand with video games, aiming and shooting. I like the hand-eye coordination of it. I certainly love racing games. So, let me know in the comments, how do you feel? I mean, do you feel that you're getting plenty of games that you like that are coming out? I know some of you do. You'll play anything, and you'll buy everything. You'll find a way to buy every new game that comes out and play them. And if you're happy doing that, it occupies your time, and you feel you're getting your money's worth and you're being responsible with your money, then that's a great thing. I think that you could enjoy, a dozen experiences a year, or you can, like me, you could find maybe 3 if you're lucky. And just really savor the 3 experiences and be thankful for those, which is, again, goes hand in hand with why I've been building up a big 5th, 6th, and 7th gen collection to go back and play, including the analog TVs to go back and even play my old Sega Genesis and Super NES games, because I want to have, in my mind, at some point I'd like to retire and be able to just enjoy these experiences. The VR thing is still out for me. I'm interested in it, but it's going to take, I'll wait and be patient, take my time and let them get the bugs out of it, make sure it's all working up and running good, and that there's enough experiences in that I could see myself enjoying that would warrant buying that whole system, or the new Neo to support it and all that. So we'll see. But I'd like to know in the comments, how do you feel about this? Do you feel that there's just that gaming is drying up? There's just a lack of new IPs, new ideas, new concepts? Do you feel that there's plenty of games coming out, but just not for you, not the ones that you're into? I have some friends that play very little modern gaming. They just, for them, they're bored with it. Nothing does it for them. Not even GTA 5, and they would much rather play older games. And I validate those feelings and concerns. I'm not there yet. I still like the new. I love the new technology and 4K stuff and HDR color palettes that's coming to gaming. I think it's very exciting. I just want more concepts that I can get into without the disappointment. So just a little off-the-cuff rant. I don't want to, it's not a negative thing so much. It's just my observations about where I see gaming going, how it fits in with my criteria for new game purchases, and the kind of, the time that I can sit and play a game, which is rare. It has to really be something special that warrants sinking, 20 or 60 or 200 hours into. Like Mad Max, which I'm having a lot of fun with. So I'm actually going back and playing in this old experience and having fun, replaying it from the beginning, rediscovering those areas all over again. It's been long enough now to where I'm really enjoying it all over. Who knows if I'll ever finish the game? Who knows if I'll even get back to where I was, 100 and some odd hours into this last, save file that I did. But I'm just having a ball with it, and the main thing is that to play a game that you like. I'd rather go back and play an old game than to force myself to play a new one. It's just not my cup of tea. So, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it and your observations on where you think gaming is going today. I really would love to hear about it. And no matter what, enjoy your games.